Look up in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman.
This is Dan Jurgen.
This is Jason J. Lewis, the voice of Superman on Justice League Action.
This is Mark Wade, writer of Superman Birthright.
And you're listening to The Krypton Report.
The Krypton Report podcast is dedicated to all things Superman, Supergirl, and the planet Krypton. We discuss movies, TV, game, comics, and all things DC. So join me, Tyler, with my co-host James and Jania. It's that time. It's the Krypton Report. That's us. Hey, James.
Hey. What's up, Tyler? How's it going?
Just chilling.
Just chilling.
Yeah, it's a laid-back day. We're here to... This episode's going to be kind of laid-back and chill and a little different than usual. Because what we're going to talk about, I got to think about this a while back, is like... one of the most, like, favorite parts of, like, when we were younger going to the movies was the trailers. You know, like, you're sitting there, then all of a sudden pops up and you're seeing a preview to a movie that you maybe didn't know was coming out or you heard about and you wanted to see. And I feel like we don't get that thrill as much anymore because trailers are, of course, released online and everything. But so that started. And I got to think about first impressions, about how you see things. And so what we thought it would be cool as part of our countdown to The Batman was to go back and see the first trailer of every Batman project, every Batman series. Now, I do have one little bit of a cheat, just because I did do a trailer for Batman, Batman Returns, Batman Forever, and Batman and Robin. Just because each one of those movies, the tone changed so much that it was like each time we saw a trailer, it was like a new Batman in a new film. You know, because the actor changed and things changed. So we're going to be discussing the trailers for Batman 89, Batman Returns, Batman Forever, Batman and Robin. I threw Gotham in there for fun, spice it up. The first teaser trailer for BVS, Batman Begins, and of course, The Batman. So,
yeah. You know, it's funny trying to think back to when these movies had come out, when they went from Keaton to Kilmer, like the thoughts on casting a new Batman.
Well, it's also because we were kids, man, and we were just excited to be getting a new Batman. And I mean, I had the Disney Adventure magazines, you know, and Robin was coming.
Oh yeah, I had those also, you know.
And Jim Carrey was the Riddler because he was like the biggest thing ever at the time.
Right.
So it was just, we were excited. We didn't think of really think or dwell on it or that all the behind the scenes stuff, you know.
Well, I know we didn't spew all the vitriol that we get to see and hear these days. Not us kids, you know. Yeah,
it was like, "Yay, Batman!"
Right? Yeah, I mean, we're really excited. I know. I was like, well, that kind of sucks, you know. Not Michael Keaton not coming back. So, I mean, I guess we'll get to it when we get there, but I just thinking back to when I was younger and, you know, I knew that they had recasted and yeah, it's just thinking about stuff I hadn't thought about in a long time.
Yeah. Cause there's some fun surprises and we're just going to kind of get into it. We, you know, because of copywriting and music and all that, we can't play the trailers. So we previously watched them. I kind of threw together a little video of everything. And before we break down the trailers, let's talk about this real quick. From Adam West to Michael Keaton is about 19 years. Or I put 22 years because I had 66 to 89. But technically it would have been when it ended. So what was it, 67?
I believe
So
maybe
whatever,
60. Yeah.
20 some years from Adam West to Keaton.
Yeah, 22
From
years, right about there.
from 97 to 05 was 8 years. That's Christian Bale. The end of it was George Clooney in 97, which is the end of the anthology films, because they're all linked. They're supposed to be the same series. So we had an 8-year gap from when Batman ended to when it began. See what I did there? So from 2012 to 2016 was 4 years, which is our shortest time for our new Batman. And then technically I'm only looking at theatrical, so I'm not talking about anything on TV, and I'm not addressing the Snyder Cut, so I'm just looking at theatrical releases, because then technically you have 2017, which is Affleck, to 2022 Pattinson, which is 5 years. It's just interesting because technically, if you would have thought about it, like this film was supposed to be out in 2021, so that would have been another 4-year, turnaround for a Batman reboot. And it's crazy that we only got technically. It's crazy that like the reign of Affleck was only 2 years basically as Batman. Like I said, not counting the Snyder Cut, we're just talking theatrical, which is what some people pay attention to. And all that's going to change with streaming and all that, but interesting, right? Like just how these gaps get smaller and smaller as we
right,
go
which
through
is
time.
interesting though, because come 2000, late 2000s and early 2010s, like people were signing on for these multiple picture deals in different IPs,
Mm-hmm.
and signing these multiple picture deals. I mean, that's quite a few years playing a specific character. So the fact that more people started signing on for those like multiple picture deals and these different IPs, but the turnaround, say for Batman, has gotten
Mm-hmm.
shorter.
Of course. I mean, kind of like, well, that webhead guy. What's his name?
Oh, you mean Venom? I mean,
Yes.
Topher Grace to Tom Hardy. How many years?
When did Venom come out? 08 or 18?
18, I believe.
That's 10 years. It's 11 years. Because Spider-Man 3 was 07.
2007?
Yeah,
Wow.
Spider-Man 3 is 2007. Yeah, I know. Getting old. Okay, so speaking of old, Batman 89. Now, I searched, and this was, labeled under Warner Brothers as the first trailer for Batman. Because I was looking because I've heard stories about the original, like, theatrical, like, teaser trailer for Batman 89 and how it showed him descend and people lost their minds seeing Batman. So I searched, and this is what said from Warner Brothers was the theatrical trailer for Batman 89. It starts like, we're also going to give a letter grade to each trailer, people. Okay, so be prepared. It starts with the bat plane over the city. We see Vicky Vale. We see Batman, like, fights. And
well, the first thing is when the bat plane swoops in, it shoots at the Joker. Like,
right.
They show that scene right out.
I'm going to say this right off the bat. Okay, I'm not going to beat the bush. This is a junky trailer. And maybe it comes from just, growing up and like expecting things from trailers, but this is like random footage. There's no like story trying to be conveyed. There's no hype. It's just random shots throughout the entire movie. and it gives away a lot. If you've seen the movie and you go back and read it or watch it, it's very interesting because it's like, oh, well, that doesn't. Why are they telling us everything? That's not cool. Like, um, it's
See,
all over the place.
1989. It's not. See, they were showing us everything in trailers back then. So see, nothing's changed except for they get more creative and storytelling with it, or they flat out lie to you.
Yeah, yeah. That the thing is, I just remember like a lot of trailers because I used to work with a guy and like we would joke when we were working and we would just kind of do the movie over voice like in a world where nighttime sucks, two men pick boxes, like and because you just feel like every trailer
I think
had
we've
that,
all done that.
so like and I realized like this is a very quiet trailer because there is nothing being said. There is no music, there is no score. It's just all the images you would expect from, a Batman. Like you're seeing Batman, you're seeing all of his fights, which is awesome. Don't get me wrong. Like you see him crush through the window. It's all awesome. But if you've seen the movie, then you go back and watch the trailer. It's like, wow, they pretty much gave a lot away as far as what to expect and what's going to happen in the film itself. So I thought it was interesting. It's kind of hard to talk about because it is just these random shots. Like, we get the wait till they get a load of me, but that's like towards the end. Like the Joker's just shown up front. There's no like mystique or reveal made, and it was weird. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. You just get a lot of lines. Where does he get these wonderful toys?
Right.
Or those wonderful toys?
The 80s.
Um,
What would you
yeah.
give it as a letter grade?
That's tough. I mean, you make a lot of really good points there. I mean, that's all it is a lot of things strung together.
Now, we're not talking about the film. We're talking about a trailer, people. So, like,
Yeah.
the purpose of a trailer is to excite you, to bring you in, to show you stuff, but not tell you everything.
Yeah.
Not give it all away.
They showed a lot of set pieces in that trailer. I mean, it would get you. I'm just thinking about it, like watching it. It would get you really excited, I think, because it's Batman. It's on the big screen. I mean, he's got that awesome leather suit. You get to see that Tim Burton 89 Batmobile that is just still like the best Batmobile.
It's still the standard. Like, when it comes
Yeah.
to Batmobile, like, we can argue about best Batman, and we're going to do all that later in another episode. We're going to break down our Batman, the Batman scorecard, which I'm about to just throw up on our social media for anybody.
Right.
But
yeah, I mean it just and it's that cinematography, the images, because the movie is shot with so many great sequences and the way the cameras used and placed and stuff. Like almost with the trailer, it almost looks as though you can see like comic images, as the whole sequences play out in the movie. That goes away a little bit, but in the trailer, it almost looks that way. I mean, but I would only give it like a C, middle
Yep.
range. I think it would get people excited because of what it is and its content and its imagery.
But I agree.
Yeah, it doesn't. It shows you a lot, but I don't know.
It shows you a lot, but
it doesn't give you a sense of how the story is going to go. So you would just be like, oh well, man, they showed a lot in the trailer, but you didn't know how it would turn out.
it's exciting to see a new take on Batman. Everything you said is valid with how you would react to being excited for Batman. But the thing is, we're talking about like quality of a trailer, and it's just not a good trailer. I mean,
No.
at the time when it came out, I can see, but
I mean, you asked if it would get you excited for Batman, and I think yeah.
it
I
would get
mean,
you excited.
would you would the new Batman movie, would you get excited for the new Batman movie if, I mean, say the trailer we're going to talk about later, which was the Fandom trailer, they didn't have a whole lot of footage, and certainly none of this special effects filled footage that we've seen. They had none of
I
that,
know. I
but the
know.
way that they edit it in the story, the mystery they put forth, was very compelling. So, I
Hmm.
mean, as a standard, no, it was not. But it's also a different time. Like if we had the Batman cut now with just flashes
The
entirely
bat the
of the
Batman
movie.
edited like it was 1989.
Exactly. I
What
mean,
just
what would
happened?
we think of
I don't
that?
know. James, what did we just see? I don't know, dude. Shut up. Okay.
Right?
So, all right. And I say that because let's jump a couple of years to 92. We get Batman Returns. Now, this trailer starts with the score. We hear that Tim Burton, like, the stuff you hear, like, it's Danny Elfman's music, so don't get me wrong, but like the way we hear Tim Burton kind of in our minds with the, Danny Elfman's score. And I mean, it starts with a voiceover telling us the story, and it has a little bit of a breakdown because it starts the Penguin, then into Catwoman, then we get the bat signal turned in where he's sitting in his room brooding, and he stands up, and then like he suits up, and then it's talking about we see him in Gotham doing his thing. So it very much from the very beginning, this trailer is like, there's Batman, there's the villains. Yeah, I like if I'm just watching trailers, I'm in for this one. Like this has got me. Like this one I'm pumped for, you know. Just looking at the trailers because you're hitting the music, you're hitting the image, you're telling me a story of what Batman's going to do, and then the final shot is what we've seen in the promo is the bat symbol, the oval with the snow blowing across. And it's like Batman.
Which is great, which I don't know why they didn't use in the movie.
Right?
Like,
Right?
that is a wonderful shot, and yeah, don't use it in the movie.
Idiot. Aw, she's mad about it. She's like, that's bullcrap. Daddy, you tell him that's some bullcrap.
Yeah.
But I mean, I've told this before, and I'm not going to keep beating a dead horse, but like, I had a very bad experience when I saw Batman in theaters, and Batman Returns in theaters. So, just watching the trailer like this was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
That trailer is a good trailer. So, for anyone out there, what did you think? Like, did it get you hyped? Did you like get like we saw the new bat suit come walking out when he's grabbing his boots, and I don't know, it just felt better as a trailer.
Yeah. There's a lot. Yeah, it felt better as a trailer. It was more complete. There was music, a little bit of editing, showing you some of the story beats of some of the characters, like Selina, Kat's kind of being crazy. They don't really show you anything of her before, so you only get to see Catwoman. You don't see the transformation in the trailer. Some of the things, like there was a lot of like cat puns and stuff as they
Yeah,
were
there was.
talking or narrating through. So I kind of had a chuckle. Um, but I mean, yeah, you said you had a bad experience. I mean, I remember having a good experience, and my mom kind of when we were leaving was like, "Well, that was a little different and um, darker and maybe gross than it probably should have been."
James had the experience I wish I would have had.
Yeah.
That lucky duck. But
Yeah, this is a really well done trailer.
well, I rated this as a B plus.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
totally
Yeah.
love it.
Yep. I'll co-sign that.
That's right. We're taking loans out here, people. Co-signing away. So now we're gonna jump to 1995 for Batman Forever. Of course, this is more like I'm 10 years old now, so I of course get to pay more attention to things. I'm at that perfect age, paying attention to the trailers. We only got to see the trailers on TV and at the movie theater, so I didn't get to watch it like we can now, where I could just sit here and constantly be playing it in the background. It starts with the suit up scene, where he's putting on the gloves and he comes out. And what I found most interesting is they used the Batman Elfman theme in this trailer. So it has a really interesting of having the classic Batman theme that we know from the Keaton films, but now we're getting it with the Batman Forever imagery. And then what's interesting is immediately they made sure that we knew that there was humor to it, because we get the shall I get you to take a sandwich with you, sir? And he goes, "I'll get drive-through."
Yeah, the trailer line.
And they split it though.
The suit up scene they actually use both of the suit up scenes, because it's both Batman suits. It's the one he wears throughout the most of the movie, and then the sonar suit at the end.
The Panther suit. I don't know why they call it that, but that's what I heard it called.
I've heard that they actually call the suit he wears most of the movie the Panther suit, and the sonar suit is that. I don't know.
Yeah.
I've heard it both ways, and I'm not sure which one is which. Unfortunately,
I like the sonar suit just because I like the bat on the sonar suit.
Yeah.
The only thing that kind of bums me out is when it comes to Batman Forever is you only get Robin with the sonar suit. You don't get to see Robin in Batman together when he's in the Panther suit. It's just when he's in the sonar suit.
Oh, right. Yep.
So it's dang, because I would like to have seen them in those together.
I mean, you get to see him in his circus outfit when he pulls him out of the.
True.
I don't even know what they buried him in.
Sand, gravel, concrete, dry concrete. But what's interesting is we see Batman, right out the bat. We see Batman, we see the Batmobile, we see him fighting thugs, and then we see Edward Nygma, Bruce Wayne, and then we see the Riddler. And then it's not till we get to the scene where he does the "I'm the Riddler" that it cuts and has Two-Face pop up. And there's no voiceover in this trailer. And then
but there's a lot of jokes.
Yeah.
There's a lot of jokes. There's a lot of Jim Carrey making faces.
Of course there is. It was the Jim Carrey trailer.
Yeah. Well, lots of faces and noises that weren't even in the movie. And if they were, they cut them in weird for that one scene.
And then we get this person walking who says, "I need a name. Batboy, Nightwing. What's a good sidekick name?" And there's no really Dick Grayson in it until in the latter part of the trailer, because the score has the Keaton score in it, and then we get a little more as it goes, and then when it starts saying their names, we get the shot of Robin in the green, the green light when he's on Claw Island, It's like
Yeah.
Batman forever.
Which is a pretty cool shot, though.
Oh, it is a cool shot, but it's weird because it's not like they're like like if you think about it now, a lot of times with trailers they try to tell you a little bit of a story with what the trailer is, and with that there was nothing. I mean,
Oh yeah, they didn't
it's-
even give you the circus at all.
right. Or Dr. Meridian, who she like really like anything about her and what's going
Oh
on.
no, well, I mean, not much about her except for that she was super thirsty for Batman.
Try a fireman, less to take off.
That line's not in the trailer, but some of the stuff before it is. Because they definitely dropped the do I need skin tight vinyl and a whip?
Trying to be a Catwoman reference. Pff,
Yeah.
makes no sense. But it's a cool trailer. Like it would get me hyped for like, if I was watching it, like I'm pumped because it's Batman again. It's new images, but it's more focusing on Jim Carrey's The Riddler.
Yeah.
Like they don't really play
Well,
up
we
Tommy
were
Jones as
10-year-old
Two-Face.
boys, and Jim Carrey was just, yeah,
God,
was an
he's God.
idol
I mean,
to
Think-
10-year-old boys.
well, like 94 was Ace Ventura, The Mask, and Dumb and Dumber, and then 95 was Batman Forever, and then was it 96 was Ace Ventura 2?
I think so.
I mean, just right there, like that's everything that Jim Carrey's like known for, like the biggest stuff. So, what would you rate this?
Um, oh, I give it a B plus.
I put B.
Yeah. Well, I did think the Jim Carrey, the extra Jim Carrey that they added was like, man, he must have just been going crazy on that set from time to time.
Oh, what's his face couldn't stand him.
Yeah, Tommy Lee Jones.
Tommy Lee Jones.
That's
could
the thing.
not
That's the thing that
stand
hurts that movie the most for me.
Tommy Lee Jones.
His Two-Face.
You know,
Jim Carrey's
there's
being Jim Carrey is kind of what's expected of Jim Carrey. I mean, is that the Riddler that I wanted to see? Not particularly, but it was also very much Frank Gorshin.
Frank Gorshin.
Yeah, and it was Jim Carrey.
It was like Carrey doing Gorshin.
Yeah, but friggin' Two-Face, Tommy Lee Jones. I mean, there was a lot of half and half imagery, and a couple of references to the two dichotomy that he has. But other than that, it was flip a coin and just act like he was the Joker.
And that's like the theory is everybody looked at what Jack Nicholson did as the Joker and just kind of made their character like a version of that instead of actually knowing their character. And even in one of the things I love about Two-Face is how much he respects the coin, I guess you could say. When he flips it, whatever the outcome is, that's the outcome. And we literally have a scene of Harvey flipping the coin repeatedly until it came up where he gets shoot at Bruce Wayne. That's not Two-Face.
Yeah.
And I think we addressed that years ago in our Batman Forever commentary.
Right. Well, in The Dark Knight, he flips the coin for Maroni, and he lets him live. But
And not the driver.
to have one more chance, he flipped it for the driver.
I mean that makes sense because that's that Two-Face would do that. So, anyways, moving on to 1997. Now we start off with the Goldman score. We have Mr. Freeze introduced, which I think in a new Batman movie, like it's a sequel, it kind of makes sense to kind of introduce your villains. Much like, it's interesting how similar the Batman and Robin trailer is to Batman Returns, because it introduces the villains first, and then we get a voiceover again. We're back to having a voiceover, which I thought was pretty cool. We have Ivy, and then we get the first shot of Batman as the "Hi, Freeze, I'm Batman." And then we see Robin, and then we get the joke of the hockey team from hell, and then right around there,
And that
they
pretty
slip
cool
the-
Nightwing suit, though.
Oh yeah,
That was
yeah,
always
the
like
new
the best part of this movie.
the new 52 Nightwing suit, yeah.
Yeah.
And then they slip in the hockey team from hell joke, and it's interesting how they cut to where when you're watching the trailer, you kind of feel the campiness, but nowhere near as much as what is actually going to be in the film, because they cut a lot in the trailer. Like, they move around a lot. And then, like, on the way out, we get the Alicia Silverstone pop up. "I'm Batgirl. I found the Batcave." And then it's heroes together. Partners. Batman and Robin. With the introduction of Batgirl.
Right.
Which I always thought was, like... But honestly, the trailer is done pretty well. I put a B-, just
Yeah.
because I like the way they use the scores. I like the way they did the voiceover and just use certain images to amplify it. And this, we're talking trailer, people. Trailer. Style of a trailer. Not the film itself, okay?
Right. I mean,
Mhm.
I'm thinking back on when this movie came out,
Dude, I remember
was,
seeing this trailer
like-
in theaters, and I was so pumped.
oh,
I
me
saw the-
too. Yeah. I mean, the excitement that I would give it, I mean, I would have to give it an A,
I remember
just for the
seeing
fact,
shot.
I mean, I'm thinking about when I was a kid, and I saw Batman Forever. I loved Batman Forever, I was 10 years old when it came out. I absolutely friggin' loved it. So then they were making another one, and I remember, being a little like, man, they changed Batman again.
Yeah.
But they had Bane in the movie, and they had Arnold in the movie, and I
Yep.
was friggin' stoked.
They had Alicia Silverstone in the movie.
And they had Alicia Silverstone in the movie, yeah. So I mean, it was like an A. And then we saw the movie.
And the thing is, when I saw the movie, like, I knew that wasn't great, but I still enjoyed it just because, I was pumped watching it with my brother. We were having a great time. And it was really enjoyable, like, and all the tie-ins that came with it that summer, the cereal, the Taco Bell, the toys were everywhere. You could actually find really cool toys for Batman and Robin. And
Oh yeah,
Of cour-
hardcore merchandise. I had the Robin. I had the Batmobile. I had the Bat Ski. The one that Batman drives. I had that. I had Bane.
Still the best Bane toy ever.
Absolutely. I had a Mr. Freeze. Yeah, it was great.
It was
It was a
wonderful.
great time for
Well-
for action figures and movie merchandising and that type of stuff.
I mean, I was 12. You know, my brother was 3 years um, younger, 3 to 4, depending on where in time frame. Uh, so it was, you know, we were hyped together because now it had both Batman and Robin in it. But yeah, let's not forget that as we were 12 years old, we were also there for Alicia Silverstone. And it's really, it is really sad when you go back and hear how she was like body shamed at the time and everything. It's really messed up. So
Yeah,
it's heartbreaking.
it really is. I mean, you know, even looking back, I don't regret a single um, a single ounce of excitement for wanting to go see the movie and for being excited that Alicia Silverstone was in it and she was going to be Batgirl.
I just hate that she was Barbara Wilson. That
But
always made me mad.
yeah,
Like, you know, and Uncle Alfred, like just changing. I'm like, that always upset me, but that's a different conversation. So now we're gonna take a trip. Ready, James?
whoosh.
To 2005. The trailer probably came out in 2004, but you know the movie came out in 05. So this
The movie came out in June, so first trailer might have come out in 2004.
we get images of this dude traveling the world, and we hear, "What do you fear?" It's all shots of Christian Bale, and it's him training this Liam Neeson, you know, talking about fear and symbols, and then like it's all these kind of long scenes, and then all of a sudden he goes to this closet looking thing and opens it, and we see a bat cow, and then it's just quick cuts of like Batman in the sky, Batman doing this, Batman doing this, and then we have the "Where are you?" Here. Boom. Batman Begins. And I'm going to say this right now. This is my favorite Batman trailer.
Yeah, I mean,
Because you don't know it's a Batman trailer. Because it really is Bruce's story.
not until
And
they
then,
show you that cowl and the symbol.
and then once you know it is Batman, it's just action shot, action shot, action shot, quick cut, boom. Batman Begins. And then you hear the drums. Dum, dum, dum.
Well, then
I mean,
and then you get a scene where you've only probably ever seen in comics at that point of Batman hanging upside down, scaring somebody.
right. I mean, it excited me the first time I saw it. And just what do you call it? What do you call it? Just retelling it to you right now. I got goosebumps, man. I gave this trailer an A.
Yeah, I mean, this is definitely an A. You know, I mean, honestly, Batman and Robin, the trailer was like a B, but the excitement thinking about, you know, that stuff before, like it's just how hype you were for it. So that's why I got that. But
Yeah,
yeah, no, the imagery in this trailer, it's a very well done trailer. Yeah, A, definitely. And I mean, best Batman trailer for arguably the best Batman movie.
yeah. I mean, I think it's the best. Um, you know, I think it is the best Batman movie. It and doesn't mean it's my favorite or the best film. I just think it's the best Batman movie. We were talking about that off mic and everything. So everyone needs to know that. And I just love the trailer, and I love seeing that cow like in the suit. Like, yeah, once again, it's an all black suit, but just enough differences, you know. And then, so this one's different. This is in 2014. I threw Gotham in here, and the reason I threw Gotham was just because it's a little bit of a different aesthetic. And going into the Batman, we're going to get some of these characters again, and just kind of the feel of the city, because that's one thing I'm really excited for the Batman, which at the time of this recording is just about a month away, about 30 days away, because February is a short month. So Gotham, it's cool because we see Falcone, we see Oswald, we see Fish, we see these people we're not sure who they are, and then we get the name Jim Gordon. And my young partner, Jim Gordon, we seen the Waynes in the alley, and then we hear the Bruce scream, which is probably the best, like, Wayne. It's the best Bruce Wayne child out of all of them. You know, in 89, he's just a bore. He just kind of stands there. In Batman Begins, he watches them die, and he just kind of stands there and doesn't move or say anything. In Gotham, he blood-curdling screams when his parents die. And then we get teases of Bruce's conquering fear. We see Alfred. We see, before there was Penguin, there was Oswald. Before there was Catwoman, there was Selina. Before there was the Riddler. We see this. And that's the only time we actually saw Ed in the trailer. And then we get the Ivy tease, which was stupid because of how that went. And then it was like, there is Gotham. So, how did you feel watching the Gotham trailer?
All right. Let's pause there for a minute. I think Jamie got in the shower and the baby's crying upstairs. I mean, the Gotham trailer looks really good. It gives you a sense of, like, Gotham being, like, the city being a character in itself. You've got all of these people populating this very like gothic what's the word, noir city. Like, it's got very specific imagery, and I mean, I can say that that's what had really sold me partly going into this show coming on. I mean, it definitely turned out to be something different than what it was sold to be, but
I mean, the
imagery
alone,
definitely.
You can tell they had, like, it was going to be a shorter first season, because then they extended that ogre story for like 3 episodes because they needed to do something. And sidebar, I just finished season 2 of Pennyworth because now it's on HBO Max. I had watched it on Epix, and then I just never went back to it because when it went on its mid-season, whenever that was. So now that it's on HBO Max, because season 3 is coming and it's going to be an HBO Max original. And this isn't spoilers, but I'm just saying that Bruno Heller, in his DC properties, likes to subvert things and do unexpected twists and random weird stuff. Because there's a big, interesting twist that happens at the end of season 2 that Ginny and I kind of talked about as it was about to happen. And that's just, that kind of sums up Gotham, because it started out as like this prequel show, and I think it would have been a much better show if Bruce was only in the first season and then he left. And we all know that it was supposed to be more of Gotham Central, type show, and that changed. And of course, people want to see these characters, and they always try to hold them back. So then it became Jim Gordon and Alfred and Bruce Wayne. fighting criminals in Gotham before he's
Right.
Batman.
Which
And then when
kind of
he comes
leads you
out,
to like, how can you not figure out who Batman is? But
which
in the future, the one
makes
thing
me think
that
that Gordon probably knew. Like if they had done more, like it felt like it would have been like Gordon was actually on his side. Like
oh
he,
yeah,
like,
I feel that in most stories that Gordon knows, but he doesn't want to know, because if he
right.
doesn't know, then he has plausible deniability.
It's like he's put enough pieces together, and he's like, if I sit down and solve this puzzle, I figured it out, but I'm just not going to finish it.
Yeah.
It's like he has just
I
enough
mean,
to know.
he's special forces, and he's a detective. He's risen through the ranks to become commissioner of the city. Like, I think I think he has the mental faculties to put that together, especially working with him the way he does.
Yes. I give this trailer a B because, not thinking about where the series goes, but just the prospect of this series, because, it's called Gotham. And we all kind of are thinking, oh, it's kind of like the Batman version of Smallville.
Exactly. That was kind of my thought about it. I mean, I give it a B plus. It gets you pretty interested in some of the things. Like I said, the visuals, the city, the character designs, like Fish, Jada Pinkett's acting. Oh my God, for the role, for the character. Like she said, I'm gonna be in a comic book show. I'm gonna be in a comic book show.
It's just it's scary to me how if you try to do a Batman show, how everyone eventually starts to try to slip into Batman 66.
Right.
Like there's such a fine line. And I think one of the biggest things that made me upset was when they were in Arkham and they did like the stereotypical black and white striped like pajama looking inmate
Right.
suits. I'm like, oh, come on, guys.
Yeah.
All right, James, you ready for this one?
It
The next one?
Yeah.
The
in a
least
sec.
Batman-y of our Batman trailers.
Right. The one thing I did kind of enjoy about as the show went on, real quick, is the how Batman ended up being more of a reaction to what Gotham had become, as opposed to, the other way around.
Oh yeah, and we're gonna dive into
It was
that.
very interesting how they made that happen. I mean, it's understandable that the organized crime is what exists, not the super villain variety.
We
But
are
the
going
way
to
that
dive heavily into that thought when we do our Gotham look back episode here this month.
Sweet. Okay, awesome. That'll be great.
We'll just because yeah, that is a concept I really like. All right, now we're in 2016, and this is the teaser. Now, okay, let's jump back for a second, real quick. I meant to bring this up. I vividly remember, and I'm bringing it up. Do you remember the teaser for The Dark Knight? The first teaser trailer?
I'm sure if I looked it up, I'd be like, oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
All it was darkness and voiceover of Bruce Wayne and Alfred. And we saw like this blue light, and then we hear some men just want to hear the world burn. And we hear like a little bit of the Joker, and it's the Dark Knight bat symbol, like on fire, on blue fire.
Okay.
And I just remember I was in theaters with my brother, and we were seeing the symbol breaks apart. We were seeing The Simpsons when this teaser trailer popped up. And it didn't even show any footage of the movie. It just was the voiceover. Now, this next trailer is for the Batman v Superman. It is now 4 years since The Dark Knight Rises, and this is a teaser trailer for it. And as far as Batman trailer goes, this is the least Batman-y Batman trailer. Because it starts with the conversation about Superman, and it's, the slow camera up into the statue that then says false god, which isn't even in the movie, that scene. And then we hear Alfred speak, give us the line about that's how it starts. The sense of powerlessness that turns good men cruel. The fever, the rage, all that. And we see Bruce's face, and he just looks angry, and it turns and we see the bat suit. Then we see the bat plane shoot. There's an explosion, and what's neat is the way it's edited is there's an explosion, and then we see the Batmobile from behind drive through the explosion. We see him standing up in the distance with this shortly before he gets the spear. We see then the far distant shot of him with the rifle. Then we see him standing up and like walking from like a fire, where we actually see him in the regular bat suit in motion. And then we see him in the armored suit, and we get the "Tell me, do you bleed? You will." Credits symbol. I gave it an A. I mean, it's hard because it's also a Superman trailer. Like it's the sequel to Man of Steel. It's the first time they're together. But you're seeing a lot, and you're getting a different tone of Batman. Like you are being shown this different style of Batman, and it was. I mean, that teaser was powerful. I mean, yeah, James, thoughts?
I mean, yeah, very much. It's hard not to call this my favorite, but that's because it's a Superman trailer too.
I know.
The imagery we get, the first half of the trailer is Superman. We get the voiceover, we get up to the statue, then we get everybody reaching out to touch him. We get the image of him coming down with the rocket, the shuttle, and then we get the image of him where the nightmare scene where the soldiers are kneeling in front of him, and then him flying over with the lady reaching up. I mean, just awesome imagery right off the get, and then you get the second half is Batman. You get Ben, you get the suit, the Batwing, the Batmobile. Yeah, it's
a lot.
I love this trailer.
It's a lot really quick.
This is absolutely all I needed to see. And then, of course, the best shot of Batman, of him coming out of the rubble.
I mean...
And then the Dark Knight Returns shot with him with the rifle.
I mean, in all honesty, you're right with... I probably could have not seen another trailer for this and been good, but I wanted to, and that's life.
Yeah. I mean, I wanted to see and read everything about this, so... It was in production for forever. I mean, it was in production for forever, and Warner Brothers just kept pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing more news, more bits of the freaking movie over 3 years.
Yeah, I mean, considering it was supposed to originally come out.
So much of it. They gave you so much of it before it even came out.
It was supposed to come out in 2015, and let's just say that Man of Steel came out in June, and by the end of July, we had gotten the announcement of the sequel with Batman. And cast, because I think by August is when we found out that it was Affleck. And then I
Sounds
know
about
that
right.
spring of 14 is when we got the sad Batman, you know, like um, meme and all that stuff. So yeah, it's crazy. I mean, I was obsessed with every little piece of news. I mean, I would listen to podcasts of people talk about the same little piece of news over. That's just how pumped I was, you know? But hey,
Any
now
new idea that somebody
oh,
gave was like,
I followed every thread, every like, hey, this is what might be happening. Yeah, that was then. Now I'm just like, I don't care. It's too much.
right.
But now we're down to the last trailer. And what is it for?
For the Batman.
The Batman.
Oh, excuse me. The brand new movie we get to see in little over a month.
Now, I'm going to give this little short story here. When this was supposed to be released at Fandom, somehow, I don't know if you remember, Brian talked about how he got tapped into like the West Coast feed or something, and he saw a little early. But what happened here? I remember Janine and I had to run, like we were watching Fandom at home the whole day, and then we had to run to the store. And I had my phone still going the entire time we ran to the store. And I just remember when the trailer was premiering, Jania was driving home, and we literally pulled off the side of the road and watched it on our phone. And then as soon as we got home, pulled it up and watched it on the TV. And just being like, this looks cool. But before I say too much, let me just give you a breakdown a little bit of the trailer. The trailer starts with the Warner Brothers symbol, and this person, which we learn later is the Riddler, is using duct tape and has this person down, and we hear just the sound of the duct tape, and then we hear the guitar strum of Nirvana. So we don't have voiceover, and we don't really have a score. We have Nirvana's Something in the Way going. And we see Gordon, and he's reading something. We see Batman's boot, and then Gordon says something, and we see Batman walk to Gordon, and it's such a cool reveal shot. There's like, wow, like, dude, it really was like, wow, this is something interesting. And then we see some Bruce, we see the church, we see Catwoman, we see Penguin, but we didn't know it was Penguin at the time. And we see the police room brawl, and what do you call it? Sorry, getting dry here. We see him fight Catwoman. Then we see the thugs, and we get the vengeance line, and then we see the car start. We see the bullet shot at him, and then we see the symbol, and that was it.
Yeah. Still watching this trailer, the shot of after you hear the duct tape and you see the guy in the chair with duct tape completely wrapped around his head. I mean, that's still freaking terrifying. Yeah, it sounds horrible. If that's the way he went out, or
Yeah,
it actually skeezes me out a little bit.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of good reveal shots in this. I like the Nirvana song. It fits with the trailer. The "I am
Right?
vengeance" line, the way he pummels the guy in a matter of seconds. Yeah, it it built up the first bit of initial excitement that I had for this movie.
You know,
Because
we had
certainly the suit
seen,
reveal didn't do that.
we had gotten the suit reveal in early 2020.
Yeah,
Well, not even the
and
suit
and
reveal, just
not
the
that
tease.
and not that I was against Pattinson, playing the character. I'm always open for a new interpretation. Um, I was more
We
sad and disappointed that we wouldn't get any more of the current at the time.
Right. I mean, that was, I think, the big at the time. I mean, was not that I was against it. It was just more of like, really, we're gonna do this when we were promised, um, a Ben Affleck solo. Like we just got started with Ben. If you think about it, um, when was
Oh yeah, just got started, and they had said that they were doing a Batman movie with him, a solo Batman movie with him, and yeah, just right out the window.
so? It just like when was
Or rather,
Pattinson
retooled
cast?
into this.
Was he cast in 19? Yeah, he had to have been cast and announced in 2019.
Yeah, because it took over a year for Reeves to sign on officially.
Because he wanted to do his Batman. He didn't want to do Ben Affleck's because it was a different kind of script and take than what he wanted. And there was all that. Because, I mean, think about it. If we just look at, like I said, just looking at theatrical. Oh, by the way, I give it an A+ for the Batman trailer.
Oh yeah, yeah, A plus for sure.
Um, so let's look at our timeline. Justice League, Warner Brothers, whatever, came out in the November of 2017, and then in 2019, Robert Pattinson was cast to be the Batman, and the suit reveal test footage thing was in the early 2020. So
It's crazy. It's just crazy to think about how extended that is. I mean, the Matt Reeves thing. I mean, you sign on to make your movie. You want to make your movie the way you want to make it. You do what you got to do to get there. But the fact that that happened then, and we're in 2022, and finally, just finally, it's coming out. How
yeah, I mean,
much has been affected around the world in the last 2 years?
yeah, I mean,
The serious delay.
yeah. I remember when they did the suit reveal, and I saw the video and heard like the little bit of test score, that, and just being like, this test score sounded amazing. It was just that doom, 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 and just being like, ooh, like that sounds good and cool. And yeah, I mean, that was an early springish of, not even spring yet. I think it was February, maybe early March of 2020. It was before the shutdown because I remember leaving work when it was released. So yeah, but that is the trailers and first impressions of the different iterations of Batman. Just a kind of a fun little thing to do, fun little ditty. Any final thoughts?
It's really cool this was fun to think back on the times when either I saw these movies or when I started to get old enough when Batman Forever and Batman and Robin came out, and since then, just going back and thinking about my excitement and just looking at these trailers through a different lens. So
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
it's
been
crazy
fun.
how we can't really do that with Superman movies because all we have is really Superman Returns and Man of Steel, and then BVS and Justice League. You know what I'm saying? Like, um, and even then, it's just kind of like it's still Cavill, but if we were just doing like the same style we just did, it would literally be Superman Returns, Man of Steel. And if you think about both of those films' teaser trailer, like the first trailers, like if we looked at that, those would be some short conversations.
Well, yeah, I mean, the Man of Steel teaser trailer was literally him flying straight up in the air through the clouds,
At the
hitting
end.
that sonic boom, and that was it.
And we were like, oh.
Yeah, jaw hit the floor.
And we were like, oh, yes. Yeah, so.
I mean, that was, you know how video games you get an S rank? That was S rank. All these like got their A's and even their A+. That was S rank, and it was just him flying.
And then, it was all like just aerial footage and voiceover for the Superman Returns. It was just like the Kent mailbox, the farm, the Daily Planet, like people standing outside. And then when the last shot is just him floating in space and he opens his eyes and flies down. And it was. So, I mean.
Yeah, that was pretty cool too.
Hey, we just did it.
Right? Yeah, we did.
But I still remember being pumped as crap when I saw that trailer.
Oh yeah, Superman floating in space, listening and hearing everything, and then you get that little voiceover, some images, and then he opens his eyes. It's like, it's go time.
Still love that trailer. Anyways. But all right, James, let's get out of here. You got crime to fight. So, don't want to keep you from fighting crime, James.
Nope, gotta stop them criminals.
All right. Well, everybody, thanks for chatting with us on this late night because James and I are idiots and don't sleep. And, that's life, right? So remember.
Look up in the sky.
I want to invite you to check out the Krypton Report Patreon. For $1 a month, you can hear exclusive content. We have discussions on movies or other comics or stuff that's going on in pop culture. We have guest appearances, and we have plenty of fun times. We also have movie commentaries that we like to do. It's one of our favorite things to do. So check that out. It's just $1 a month. It's chump change, it just helps us keep the podcast going. We're not here to make, money off and get rich. It's just nice to have a little help, to pay the bills here. So $1 a month, come join us on our Patreon. Krypton Report, patreon.com.
And if you want to have a good time, keep listening to the Krypton Report.
If you're enjoying this podcast, here's some of our favorite podcasts to check out. Digging for Kryptonite, The Aspiring Kryptonian, Superman the Animated Podcast, The Last Sons of Krypton, The Geek of Steel, the All-Star Superfan Podcast, It All Comes Back to Superman, and Superboy Legacy, Supergirl Radio, and of course, always hold on to Smallville. Check all those out, enjoy those supercasts, and remember, keep listening. The Krypton Report is a Tears production. We thank you for listening and enjoying, and please support us on our Patreon account, our TeePublic store, and check out our social media. Always remember to look up in the sky.